with superfoods, we've got a lot of colorful things going on here.
do.
What's happening next?
Well, specifically, we have sweet potatoes.
All right.
Yes, which are a great vegetable because they're very accessible year-round. And you can truly substitute them for any root vegetable in this dish, but we chose sweet potatoes because they will give it a natural sweetness. They're high in fiber and they're delicious.
That sounds good enough to me.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
How do we start?
So to make our sweet potato bisque, I'm gonna turn on my stovetop here. Get a good medium. And I'm gonna add some oil just to the bottom that can heat up. And to the oil, we're gonna add our favorite garlic. Pop her in.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
Don't waste that garlic.
Absolutely
Yes,
not.
that should okay.
So we're gonna let that kind of marinate, cook in the oil. So while that heats up, we're gonna slice our apple, which we washed.
Yes.
Which is important.
Yes, it is. Now, what kind of apple is this?
This is whatever apple we happen to have.
Uh-huh.
But
This, I think this is a pink lady. Or a Honey Crisp. Looks like.
Well, either way, you're going to just chop it up. You want it about the same size as to each other because we want it to all cook at the same time. So it's not one piece of apple is super mushy and one's going to be still crunchy on the inside.
Okay.
But it'll all be blended in the end, so it doesn't have to be pretty.
Okay. Oh, that's making noise.
It is.
Love it.
So since that makes noise, we're going to add just one chopped medium white onion.
Okay. Now, why white onion and not yellow or
You
red?
could do yellow. Red has a bit of a, different taste to it that would change the dish. Yeah. So we're going to let our onions cook in the garlic and become translucent and soft. Let them soften up. We finished cutting our apple.
And what seems really great about this recipe is that the hardest part is the prepping and the cutting.
Oh, 100%. And
so if you didn't have a lot of culinary experience and you had to cook something for your partner and you wanted it to be something better than grilled cheese, which would be great.
This would be great to go with grilled cheese. Now we're talking.
See, this is why you're in the caregiver kitchen. This is why you're here. So no matter your culinary experience, if you can cut an apple, if you can cut some celery, you're good to go.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we're gonna let the onion cook for about 3 minutes.
Okay.
We're gonna add our celery next once the onions are done, and then everything else gets thrown in and it's going to simmer.
You're a dietitian student, yeah?
Yes, dietetics student.
You're a dietetic student?
Yeah.
What do you do any outreach with the community?
Yeah, so my favorite little hobby side thing that I do is I go and volunteer in local schools and we do nutrition education. So we cook with the kids, they're in 2nd grade, and so we get to go in, we get to teach them about the sweet potatoes and the apple, but then we get the chance to cook it and they get the chance to try it, which is so important because we are doing this in Appalachian schools that often the kids haven't had an opportunity to try those foods. So it's a great experience.
So they're in 2nd grade?
2nd grade.
How long have you been doing that?
About a year now, and then next year I will be doing my thesis for my undergraduate degree where I will be looking at the effectiveness of the curriculum we teach to see, if they're learning something, and then hopefully I can prove that they learned something, and then the curriculum can be expanded to a wider variety of students and benefit more Appalachian kids.
That's so great.
Yeah,
That's
it's
so
really
great.
fun.
Yeah, because this is the type of stuff that we all eat.
Yes.
We need to know how to make
and
food that
if you
feeds
get
us
to
well.
try food at a younger age, you're gonna like it, and then when you're older and you have adult money and you make adult purchases to make your adult food, you're gonna be more likely to buy the strawberries because you already like them. That can be expensive if you're like, I don't even know if I'm gonna like this. Why would you buy it?
Exactly. That can be a big factor.
Yeah. So it's been cooking, so now we are going to add our vegetable broth.
Okay.
We're going to add 1 quart, which is 4 cups, or this whole container.
Okay. Now, is that, again, this is this organic versus non-organic question. Is it better to get it organic? Does it matter?
Honestly, with vegetable broth, I'm going to mix this and make sure nothing's stuck to the bottom. With vegetable broth, my main concern is that you get a low sodium version versus organic versus non-organic.
Okay.
Especially when we think vegetable broth and they put it in these containers, they want it to last for a while on the shelves because, you know,
Okay.
the companies make it.
Yeah, yeah.
And when they do that, they add a lot of salt because salt is a preservative. So it's not necessarily for taste. The low sodium doesn't taste worse. It just doesn't have all the
shelf life.
added in the shelf life.
Right.
And that can just be a super sneaky way that they add sodium into your diet. And if that's something you're watching, I would be way more concerned with that than organic versus non-organic. So now that our broth is in, we are going to add our sweet potatoes.
Right.
So this is 1.5 pounds, which would be about 2 to 3, depending on the size, you know. So we're gonna pour those in.
Nice.
And we're gonna add our apples.
How big a pot is this? Like, how
That's a
big a
good
pot do you think
question.
you... I mean, it seems like since we're using
See-
these big things, we should use, like, the biggest pot we got.
Which is probably true. It's not that there are a lot of ingredients, but once we get to the immersion blender, it likes to spurt.
Yes.
And if you don't want to be in the splash zone, if you have a taller pot, it's going to contain it all.
Okay.
So then we're going to add our spices. I have half a teaspoon of cinnamon, salt, pepper, cumin, and ginger.
So again, we're adding, like, the savory and the sweet.
Yes.
So things that you don't think go together end up going together.
Yes. But I promise you, in the end, they will.
Promise me?
I promise. It's
Okay.
like
All right, I'm going to hold you to that.
fall happiness in a broth.
Oh, yeah, I smell... Oh, already.
Yes.
That's just...
Now, can you grab the thyme? So that's our last little seasoning we're
Okay.
adding
Okay.
is the thyme. So just grab out a couple bunches. Yeah. A couple more. We'll be generous with our seasonings.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. Okay. And we are just gonna pop those straight on in here
Okay.
and let them simmer in the broth. We're gonna have it simmer 15-ish minutes until the sweet potatoes are tender. So we'll poke it with a fork and make sure it goes in.
Nice and mushy.
Yep. So we are just going to cover it with the lid and let it simmer.
Did you just lower the heat?
Yeah, a little bit. I could hear it getting a little loud. You don't want it to boil, but slow.
A nice,
Simmer, yes.
slow fall,
Yes. Yes.
lovey-dovey simmer.
Exactly. So we'll check on it in about 15 minutes and see if the sweet potatoes are
All right.
tender to the fork.
Right. Now all we need is a deck of cards.
Yeah. Get some Go Fish up in here.
So it's been simmering.
Yes.
What's next?
So, reveal time.
Ooh.
Ta-da. So it's been simmering, and you can see, like, if we stab one of the sweet potatoes, that sweet potato stab.
Ooh, that
goes
went in.
Yeah, it's tender. So,
Yeah.
we're going to pull out our thyme.
Is it okay if, like, some of those leaves end up?
Yeah,
Still.
we just don't want to leave and, like, emulsify in the big stem. That's too strong, but all the little leaves that fall off, that's totally okay. That's what we want, if anything. Just want to get the big chunks out. Yep, so it's ready to go.
All right.
So now-
So you've given me a fancy tool.
I have
I'd like to thank the Academy for this honor.
given you an immersion blender because you are going to blend on up our soup.
Yes.
So,
I shall. So do you take it off the burner for this?
yeah, just a little bit. Just
Okay. Now, is it better to pulse or is it better to just go all the way?
I don't know, trial and error.
All right.
Let's see. Got some professional technique going on.
I learned from the best. Now, if I don't have one of these, what's a good alternative?
A blender works just
Blender?
fine. Pour it in there, or you could do a food processor. Anything that mixes. Whisk if you're really determined.
I will get this mashed. All right.
So now it's all blended. Everything is pulverized. We are going to add oat milk
Oat milk. Why are we adding oat milk?
for the creaminess
Okay.
of it that'll add to the soup.
Okay.
The milky taste.
Now, can we use any kind of milk that we have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever works. If you want to stick to non-dairy, almond, oat, soy, coconut, or you could use
Cow.
just regular cow.
That's right.
Whatever you have. So I'm going to add 2 cups worth, which will be about half this. Goodness. Or 1/2. There you go.
That is
There you have
like
it.
the bath at a perfect temperature. A hug. Oh, I can't wait to taste this.
Ready?
Yes.
Dish it up.
Oh, please.
Right.
For you.
Thank you. Ready?
Cheers. Here we are. The bisque. See, this is comfort food.
It is.
This is, I'm in the couch with my blankets. Cats, if you have any.
Mhm.
Dogs, if you have any.
Dip some bread into this.
Yes. Or you could add like a grilled cheese with this if you wanted. You could have this will go for lunch. This is,
Soup and salad.
it's really easy. Anybody can do this with any amount of culinary skill. And it's really good for you.
Yeah.
So these were great choices. I'm gonna stuff my face now.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yep.